rearview mirror. It's not hard to sin, but it's not worth my life in the end. Keep my mind in order, steady focused on the boss. Parents don't like it anymore. Old friends are gone out the door. I'm not about that life no more. 'Cause the truth is what I'm fighting for. It's all spiritual. Can you see it?
Living that life ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Pulling up at the club ain't worth it. Fornication ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Giving all my soul ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Pulling up the club ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Selling my soul ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Pulling up at the club ain't worth it.
Consider it, make case to do it. These balls ain't nothing to it. Stay rooted, prepare yourself for temptation. 'Cause sinning just ain't worth it in the end.
Living that life ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Pulling up at the club ain't worth it. Fornication ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Giving all my soul ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Ain't worth it. Living that life ain't worth it. Selling my soul ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Living in sin ain't worth it. Rolling up draw ain't worth it. Pulling up at the club ain't worth it. It ain't even 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 worth it. No. It ain't even worth it. No. I was on my own for now. I was on my stone for now, but it ain't even worth it.
You are now flying.
Applying pressure to the pedal, breaking. Do I know we dedicated? Revealing truth to our people, we've been miseducated. Great awakening taking place and they can't decimate it. Truth serum, they can't be replicated. Get medicated, this that Psalms 107 ain't it? We got this truth and can't keep calm. On the corner dropping bombs, can't be detonated. Jump from coast to coast like LeBron, but we never traded. Got the breath of life in my lungs, I'm resuscitated precepts. The only people we pushing in this heat, hitting harder than a desert eagle bullet hit the earth with the line. Let it sink and we gon' hook 'em. We had idols in our mind, heard this word and we forsook 'em. All in Memphis, no more rent. We raising up the 12. They say the truth hurts, so we labor in travail.
Welcome back to another week of Let's Talk Truth. All praise to the Most High God. Today you got myself, Captain Emmanuel, to my right.
Officer Eliakim.
To my left.
Officer Zachariah.
All praise to the Most High God. And today the topic that we're dealing with is the hypersexualization of black youth.
That's
Put that thumbnail on the screen. All praise to the Most High. So it is for, how can I put it? It's a sensitive topic, I guess you could say, but you know that's what we do on Let's Talk Truth. We touch on the real, raw, and uncut biblical topics as it pertains to our people. Like
that's
no
right.
other, you will never see another platform, anybody else going into the scriptures to discuss topics like these that people normally shy away from.
Right.
All right. That's why we here. That's what we do. So make sure you do your part. Donate to the Booster Club. Hit that like button. Make sure you drop a comment, share on your social media platforms. Get this thing flowing throughout the algorithm. All right? Appreciate that. Let's open up with Proverbs chapter 8, verse 6.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 6. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things.
Go ahead.
For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips.
Right. So God said our mouth will speak truth. That's what we do. And we coming out of the word of truth, the word of God, the Holy Bible.
Right.
All right? All praise to the Most High. So to get us abreast with the topic today, let's pull up that first clip.
These new age adults are exactly why I'm afraid to have kids. Because they want to be the kids. Like, the grandma's the baby. Currently going viral on Twitter right now because I had retweeted a post where Sexy Red was mad because she couldn't go and perform or speak at a school. And I said that I've been telling y'all her target audience is kids. Because it is.
Pause.
That's what I...
So, Sexy Red, now this was fairly old, I guess you could say, right? This was way early in the year. She was upset. Now, mind you, she was able to perform at different schools, different pep rallies and stuff like that.
Right.
But I guess on one of her attempts, she was denied that. So she was upset that she was denied the ability to go and perform at a school where there are minor children. Now, you may not know who Sexy Red is, but even if you don't, Sexy is in her name. She's a rapper. What do you think she's rapping about and promoting and more than likely conveying in her physical appearance when she steps on the campus? Sex! Right? Don't you think? So, Sexy Red was upset that she was not able to go and perform at a school. Now, think about it, right?
What the hell is this?
As a professional entertainer, especially a rapper, right? One that, you know, has videos that you got to be 18 and older to watch. Content, all your content says parental advisory, so on and so forth. You would think that you could go without or be unbothered about not being able to go and perform in high schools.
Right.
Or whatever schools, right? I mean, you have fans, you do concerts elsewhere, whatever the case. Why would you be butthurt? Now, mind you, again, you may not know who Sexy Red is. She became popular. She became a public figure in terms of fame and notoriety as a rapper based on her hit song that is famous for the lyrics of her declaring the color of her vagina in her asshole.
Right.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
Hey, yo.
Crazy work.
You understand?
How is that helpful?
Now, normally, right, if somebody got a big hit, something that they known for, there's something that they're going to have to perform if they go and perform.
Right.
And that's what the crowd, the audience is going to demand. Right. So even if they told her she couldn't perform that, soon as she walk in the gym or the auditorium or whatever, what you think the kids gonna chant out? My coochie pink, my booty hole brown, bad, bad. You know what I'm saying? So Now, I don't know. I know a lot of these parents is millennials and Generation Z or X. I didn't lost alphabetical. I'm not keeping up with that, right? So I don't know. A lot of these parents, I don't know. But I would think, right, that most of them would probably, if it was to their consent, decline, majority-wise, decline on that proposal. Nah, we don't want her talking about the color of her vaginal area in her rectum.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My kids, they straight. They need to be getting their education. That's what they're there for. You understand? The Sexy Red, she might play on the radio when we pick them up, but while they at school, they there to get their damn education. You understand? So the point is, why would she be upset about being denied the ability to perform at a school? What the sister is bringing out is, what that's actually revealing is that that's her target audience. That's who she wants to get her music to, her message to. So if she's denied the ability to convey her message, her agenda through her music to that target audience, that's going to trigger, right, a feeling of being upset. Because the actual mission is to reach them, and that door was closed. That's what the sister is suggesting with the video.
Hell no.
All right? Play on.
I believe that's what I see with this shit. You don't gotta agree, I don't care. A lot of these new age artists target kids with very hypersexual and explicit content. I feel like my point is proven seeing that she's mad she can't go into a fucking school. Because why, as an adult entertainer whose music is on the verge of erotica, would you even think it's appropriate for you to show up at a school and then show up like that? Smelling like marijuana with your cleavage hanging out. Baby, you wouldn't even be able to go visit your baby daddy in prison looking like that. But that's how you show up for the kids. Okay. 2, why would adults even, these new age...
So you can't make this up? You were finna say something?
Yes, I was. A lot of women, when they see Sexy Red, they think she's just a rapper. But not knowing this is a form of grooming. I hope y'all know that. She's grooming your child to be a whore. This is pedophilia at its finest, in a subtle way.
Expound on that. Pedophilia.
That's crazy.
Expound.
What I mean is this, right? Like, for instance, you will not allow a grown man, just say if it's Cisco, to go into a 4th grade gym and perform Take the Thong Off. He will get bashed to the point he probably get put to death. But allow the woman to do it. It's subtle because in this earth, the woman is put in a place where they respect her power more than the man. So they're going to allow these things to happen because it's the agenda that she agree with and this whole society agree with, to the point where they want children to be whored out. They want children to be groomed to the point they create more Sexy Reds to keep the agenda going. So that was my point.
All praises. Get Sirach 17. Sirach 17, verse 16. Dealing with, now it ain't just about Sexy Red. She was one of the main pawns, right, as it pertains to the attempt to influence our young women, the Israelite young woman, right? But, you know, Sexy Red ain't the only one. And the person that's actually behind that agenda, we're going to deal with that in a second. But read Sirach 17, verse 16.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Every man from his youth is given to evil. Neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts.
So God said every man from his youth is given to evil. Message. Right? One of the biggest evils that our youth is given to, right, from the time that we come into this wicked world, is hypersexualization. I work at a juvenile facility, and you know, sometimes the kids got to sit on the unit and they able to watch movies. So one day, this kid, he wanted to watch the SpongeBob movie. So they pop in the SpongeBob movie. Now, I used to watch SpongeBob, right? And we all know it was certain stuff sometimes you like, what the hell? you know, even as a kid, like pause, right?
Right.
But I'm watching through I'm just watching the movie and how it was set up. It was so many different innuendos of homosexuality, even drunkenness, and just all type of vulgar activity. Just the only way it was really subtle was the fact that it was a cartoon, and it was reputable for, you know, being for kids. SpongeBob. But if you just sit there and really watch it as an adult, you like, damn, this ain't right. You understand? Turn the tail off.
Hell no.
So that's one of the prime examples of how our youth are given to evil. The things that you would think are permissible to them is cartoons, is animation, right? It's something that I'm busy, I got stuff to do. Hey, watch TV, SpongeBob, oh, that's harmless. Hell no. You understand? Our youth are given to evil, and the people that control these evil communications, the media, when it comes to television, radio, streaming, social media, all of these different outlets on these tablets and screens that you sit your children in front of, guess who they are? Majority. All of them Esau, but majority of them come from a particular stock. All right, go to Deuteronomy 25. Deuteronomy 25:17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 17.
Go ahead.
Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way.
So Amalek was the bastard son of Esau's son, Eliphaz, right? Well, no, I think Eliphaz was the bastard son, and Amalek was his son. So you have Duke Amalek. He's a standout descendant of Esau, right? Go ahead.
When ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God.
So it's a reason why God pointed out Amalek in terms of remembering them. Never forget what they did and how they did it. They was the first nation to come up against us when we were delivered out of Egypt. But the way that they came against us, though, it said, they met us by the way and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee. So think about it, right? If we going out, if we moving through the wilderness, we on a journey, where are the men? The men are in the front leading the way, leading the charge. You understand? To encounter all danger that could persist in front, right? So who would be lagging behind, per se? Who would be in the hind parts? The women and the children. And that's who Satan persistently attacks more than the men. Think about the guard from the beginning. They always persistently attack more so, right? The women and the children. When it comes to media, when it comes to television, when it comes to music, the women and the children of our people get very, very precisely, subtly targeted by this so-called white man, in particular, Amalek. Who is Amalek today? The people that proclaim themselves to be the Jews but are not. You understand? The fake Jews, the people that stole our land, the people that, you know, are reputable for owning Hollywood and all of these major media outlets. Yes, them. The Bible calls them, God calls them in the Bible, Amalek. And he shows you their strategy. And he said, never forget that. Because that was going to always be their strategy. That's just how they get down.
Right.
You understand? Finish that out.
Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, and the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it.
Right. So the Lord got a special judgment prepared for Amalek for doing that to us from way back then. That's right. The thing is, he never stopped. He always persisted. Exodus 17:16 tells you that he would do this from generation to generation. You understand? So the attack on our women who rules over our children, who give our children all the access to the evil that Amalek creates, you understand? Those moving parts, Amalek is all in there with the artists that they sign and the programs that they put together to program the minds of the youth. You understand? So we are given to an evil that is particularly made with the intent to destroy the minds of our young men and women from infant stage all the way up to adolescence. So by the time they make it to adulthood, they are completely cooked. They are exactly what Amalek, you understand, and the entire Edomite conglomerate wants the Israelite man and woman to be, and that's cut off from your remembrance of being an Israelite and being that Negro and Negrette, a nigga and nigette. You understand that's manufactured in America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. That's why they put you in projects. We're an experiment. Right. You understand? Their hypothesis is if we give them this rap star and we make this popular and we make this a trend and sugar and spice and everything nice, you understand? Then we're going to make the Powerpuff niggas. They just... Yeah, for real. Help me. We are their little experiment, their little scientific creation in America. You understand? We was made in a laboratory called the living room with the couch and the TV. Good. It is upgraded now to smartphones and tablets. What did you say? For real. So, and the point is, Sexy Red is just a small pawn in Amalek's chessboard. You understand? All right? But anyway, we'll get back to that later. All right? We'll get back to that later. That was just to get y'all warmed up to the topic. But we're going to move on to one of our segments that we do in the beginning of the show, the Gem of the Week. Bring us in, IT. All right, so dealing with the Gem of the Week now, typically I don't really utilize content from so-called, especially, I ain't even gonna say especially, from men that are in full-fledged Christianity, coming from the Christianity standpoint, because most men in America, or if you ask them, they say they're Christian. Right. But just, people that speak from that Christianity mindset or heartfelt position, right? But this brother right here in this clip, he makes a good point. Now, it might be, some stuff is like, but for the most part, I'm with it. All right? Play that clip.
I'm talking about building. You're supposed to get married when you're young because it prevents you from sinning and finding yourself with all of these bodies and these soul ties that ultimately carry with you for the rest of your life. And then you start to see every single man, and you can't take it out of your memory with the person that you wind up being with. Most women have skipped over the man that they're supposed to be with because they didn't have the guidance, because they didn't have the spirituality. They don't know the word of God. And so it's easy to just say, oh yeah, just provide 100%. What happens when life happens and you're 22, 23, 24 years old and you get married? The economy messed everybody up. Everybody that thought that they had it, guess what? You got a plan, and then God has a plan. What happened to the character? Why you don't talk about character?
Hold on, and Anton, just...
Why he don't talk about character? Because when I teach my daughter, I'm a reflection of the man that I would want my daughter to marry. I don't tell my daughter to go and look for a guy to provide for her. I tell my daughter to go and look for a guy that's believing in God, that has good character, that actually worships and looks for and focuses on his purpose, because everything else falls in line. The money is going to come. We so busy chasing money. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. You don't have to chase money. You don't have to look to women to provide for them, because if you're naturally that, if you're raised up in the admonition of your father, which is what God has ordained for you to do, you don't have to worry about that. That's naturally in you. And so, yes, absolutely, she should be purposeful. And her purpose at that time could be raising the children, depending on if y'all got children. Her purpose at that time could be out there and bringing in resources because she's learning a new skill that can then translate into the company that y'all build together. It's a lot of nuance and a lot of context, but I hate it when people pander to women because they leading y'all astray. And it sounds like I'm a harsh father. It sounds like it's a difficult situation. It sounds like you're just supposed to be given everything. But if that's the case, then why are we as a society, why are we as a people, as black people in particular, so far behind, and we further behind than we ever been, even though we the freest and we have the opportunity to choose for ourselves? And I'm talking about
So the beginning point, right, about, you know, young women collecting all the bodies and stuff like that, God gives direct counsel against that to prevent all the damage and trauma that comes with that, right? Get that in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 14. Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
I will therefore that the younger women marry.
So it's the will of God that younger women marry. We're taught in America, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, this man, the son of perdition, he opposes what God says and exalts himself against that. So America teaches you while you're young, have fun, hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? Don't give your glory or your prime years away to be tied down and stuff like that. It was another movie that I watched with the young men at the facility, and in the movie, this woman, she was married to a man. They had kids together or whatever. They had a family. He was successful, but he wanted her, she was a housewife, but he wanted her to sell her mother's business to help contribute financially because, you know, whatever. So, but the thing is, he was committing adultery. So,
What?
her sister, who was single and used toys every night to pleasure herself, gave her the counsel, like, hey, you know, this is a new day. You don't let nobody tell you because you're going to be a single mother of two that the market is not set up for you. No, why don't tolerate a man cheating on you even though you live a pretty good lifestyle and you're happily married or whatever. I mean, you're not happily married, you're just married. No, choose your happiness over your marriage. So it was like a trophy moment in the movie. It was like triumphant for her to file for divorce against her husband. You understand? That's America. America's agenda is to make you think, make the woman think that, not condoning adultery at all. Nobody, no man or woman should commit adultery. That's wickedness, that's evil. Right? But the Bible says, Jesus says, that a woman is bound to her husband as long as he liveth.
That's right.
So if he commit adultery against his wife and the Lord spares his life, he gonna get judged. That's what Hebrews 13 say. God will judge. Right? But as long as he alive, sister, you are bound to that man. You cannot make yourself nobody else's woman. That's what God said. In the woman's case, if you open them legs and submit to that extent to another man to where he enters inside of you and leads the residues of his DNA inside of you, sister, you are defiled. You gotta go. I didn't say that. That's what God said. So America got it twisted, right? The point is, don't let America in your mind have you thinking that it's a bad idea to get married young because you're wasting your years and you should be getting your degree. And a lot of fathers think like that. I hear that rhetoric a lot coming from this new age of fathers. They raise their daughters to be like, listen, don't depend on no man. Go to school, get your PhD, your degree, and do all this and do all of that. Which I'm not saying that a father should not raise his daughter to make sure she get her degree and all that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm getting at is that rhetoric has spilled over into not only the women, but the minds of the fathers. while the father, I guess, is maybe unbeknownst or just desensitized to the fact that while she's going through college and she's getting that bachelor's and that master's and that PhD, she getting D the whole time without the PH. Well, her pH balance is probably getting thrown off because of all the D. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my Jesus.
So you basically giving your daughter a license to be a hoe in the name of getting her education and becoming successful on her own before she seeks marriage, right? God has different counsel. Read it again.
I will therefore that the younger women marry.
Right. So before a woman becomes damaged goods, I always make the analogy. When you go to a store and you buy something off the shelf and you bring it home and you see that it's already been tampered with, it already got a scuff or something is damaged or broken or whatever, you gonna take it back. You know, I wanted something new, fresh out the box.
Right.
I didn't pay for something to be used by somebody else with their germs or whatever the hell they did to it.
Right.
No, I want what's mine. I want it new out of the package for me. That's how any man should think when it comes to a woman.
That's right.
You understand? So that's why God said before a woman gets, waxes one ton and becomes sexually active, she needs to get married. Younger women need to get married. Go ahead.
Bear children. Guide the house. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
And it don't say that he will, therefore, that the younger women marry and chase the bag and get abortions. No.
Right.
He also adds to that, right? She is to step into her purpose once she gets married. She bears children. She raises those children, right? In accordance with God's commandments.
Y'all better take heed to
So
that.
that the adversary, the enemy, Amalek, all of the nations
Amalek.
that paint this picture of our people being just so detestable and deplorable, right? No, she is going to destroy that narrative and counteract it with being a faithful wife and a righteous mother. That instructs her children to seek after the Lord. That is how a woman has a fulfilling life and doesn't waste her life in her body on random dudes in the world seeking pleasure. Because what does the Bible say about that? Read verse 6.
Verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
Right. That's why a lot of our women be having so many mental health issues. They be so thrown off and destroyed by the time they get to the danger zone. Like Kevin Samuel said, at 27 to 35, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work trying to deal with them women and get them to submit and get them to grasp the idea of marrying a man that is actually going to stand on principles as a man. He now has to fight because that woman has a manly spirit.
Right.
She's not only is she has the independent mindset, she been doing her own thing, whatever the case may be, but also she has had multiple men inside of her.
Wow.
So she literally has men's spirits operating within her.
How is that helpful?
You understand? That's what dudes be having to deal with on the market. Meanwhile, the nations, they get them young. Them white girls be leaving college when you graduate 21, 22, 23. They be getting their bachelors already with a ring on their finger. Rings is wicked. Point is they married.
Exactly.
You understand? Same thing with the Asians. Same thing with all them other races.
Damn.
They go to college single. They leave college. They have a bachelor's degree, but they no longer bachelors and bachelorettes. They be married. You understand? They be on their way. The black man, the black woman. Listen, when we was in college, I know you remember.
Yes, sir.
sisters used to be in the dorm getting slutted out.
Crazy word.
Having straight A's though.
They smart.
For real. Got got
Straight
4
A's.
credits and she done called 4 bodies in one day.
Straight A's with straight D's.
Right. For real talk. A, how you get A's and how you get all A's and all D's.
Hey, yep. Shame on you.
For real though.
Crazy work, man.
So that's just to the first point that the brother brought out, right, in the clip. But also in the clip, you know, he mentioned about what basically the concept of what a young woman looks for in a husband, and it has also been materialized, right? He has to have the bag. Now, mind you, the Bible, us, Israel United in Christ, Let's Talk Truth Radio, you know we teach and has always taught that a man should be able to provide financially.
That's right.
That's Bible. You understand? 1 Timothy 5 and 8, Genesis 30 and 30. That's a biblical principle. However, we do understand that providing is talking about much more than finances. A man has to provide that spiritual foundation.
Right.
A man has to provide region, logic, stability all across the board. You understand?
Message.
A man has to provide much more in a spiritual sense than just the financial, because guess what? He could be providing all of that and getting a wreck and break his leg. Now he can't go to work. The hell it did. Now you divorce him? No. That ain't how it work.
Damn.
So a woman should be seeking right after a godly man. Get that in Sirach 37 and verse 12. Sirach 37 and verse 12. And this is the stuff, I know it may sound basic and minuscule, especially to those of y'all who already know what we teach and you follow us or whatever the case may be, but this is the medicine for our community. This is what our young men and young women need to hear. And although they may not listen to it now, it may bore them now, they may kick against the pricks now, later down the line, if they may have to learn the hard way, they can at least reflect and know that the seed was sown at some point. That, yeah, that was right. I wasted time. Letting my body get used and abused. you understand? I would have had a way better route not knowing how it felt to have a very physically fulfilling relationship with a man who was completely toxic in every other aspect in his life, to when I meet a man that is fulfilling mentally and spiritually, I find myself missing and fantasizing after that physical dude I had that's long gone somewhere else. This ain't right. Some dudes is dealing with them problems in their marriage right now. In the truth.
Damn.
For real, you doing everything right. Thus saith the Lord. But that sister she be having flashbacks.
Hold up.
Of
Wait a
all
minute.
type of rides.
That ain't right.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I know. We kind of, like I said, uncut, you know. It is what it is.
Shame on you.
Let's talk true.
Talk to
I'm
him,
telling you,
Cap.
this is real though.
That's
This
a
is
fact.
real. So this is why we gotta pour this into the up and coming generation. Seek what's actually valuable. Young brothers and sisters, read that.
Ecclesiasticus 37 verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Right. That's what you want to seek after, young sisters. A man that knows that you know to keep the commandments of the Lord. Go ahead.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee, if thou shalt miscarry.
Right. He's going to be loyal. He's going to be faithful because he's first and foremost loyal and faithful to the Lord.
That's right.
And the Lord commands us. He demands, commands, instructs the man to love his wife as his own body. You understand? So he's not going to leave you alone in your affliction. It's something so severe as a miscarriage. you know this man as his character, as you know his morality, he's going to be there for you.
That's right.
He's not going to leave you. That's the bottom part of that scripture is heavy, because a lot of these sisters choose the man to lay down with them that won't stick around. He will stick you, but he won't stick around.
Right.
You understand? God said this man will sorrow with you if you miscarry. Right? His child is conceived within you and you fail to bring it forth. Right? That disastrous occurrence, that heartbreaking experience, he gonna stick with you through that. That's the type of stuff that actually matters, sisters.
Y'all better take heed to that.
It take a certain man with a certain type of mentality about himself to carry himself in such a way. Now, give me that in 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter 3, verse 3. Now, this is God speaking to the woman, but it's to the same point of what you young brothers too, as far as what you look for in a sister. Read that.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3.
Go ahead.
Whose adorning let it not be the outward adorning of plaiting the hair, and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel.
Because, you know, brothers in the world, of course, right, when they checking out a sister, and like the Bible say, right, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, a man loveth nothing better. So that's the first metric of whether or not this is a sister I want to pursue, right? You looking at her profile picture, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and on that, that's what you see, the plaiting of the hair, the gold, the apparel, right? The outward appearance. And brothers in the truth do the same thing. You know, you take that look, oh, you know, nah, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm good. Before you even ask the important questions about what's the sister's spirit like, how is she in a congregation? Is she, you know what I'm saying? Is she devoted? You know what I'm saying? Who, you know, how was she raised? You know, stuff like that. You don't even get that far if she don't meet the liking of your eye. That's how some brothers is in the truth. You know what I'm saying? You for real. But look at what God said. Read it again.
Whose adorning? Let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair, and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel.
Read.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart.
The what?
The hidden man of the heart.
You know what the hidden man of the heart is? That's the spirit. The spirit within. You understand?
That's right.
And a spiritual man, that's what he's looking for. The hidden man of the heart. What's inside of that sister? Now, sometimes, a lot of times, with men and women, and the Bible talks about this as well, the outward appearance can convey what's on the inside in terms of, you know, the negligence of the upkeep and things of that nature. Like, for example, a lord-ass brother, lord-ass sister, chances are they don't really love themselves much to be able to love you as themselves, because they cannot stop themselves from abusing themselves with overconsumption of food, right? But just, you know, like little blemishes that they had no control over because of genetics, or it just may not be your particular preferred aesthetic, right? That's carnal. You understand? What really matters, especially talking to you brothers, what matters dealing with a sister, God said the hidden man of the heart, continue to read,
in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit.
Even an ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. Meek means submissive. A submissive and quiet spirit. It's the hidden man of the heart. Because think about it, right? Say she beautiful, she fine, she gorgeous. A man love nothing better. It is what it is. But, hell, y'all getting a wreck. House catch on fire. She cooking for you. The stove malfunction. Flame. And her face is, y'all ever seen that movie Face Off? With
what's his name? Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She might turn into damn one of them evil villains or something in the face, but now what? You done married her 'cause she fine and something happened beyond your control and y'all under the covenant of marriage. Come on now. You understand? That's why God said you need to be focused on what actually matters. Does she have a meek and quiet spirit? Will she listen to you? Will she care for you? Will she be loyal to you, faithful to you? You understand? Will she open her mouth with wisdom when it's time to open her mouth? Will she make sense of things when you know, you got that manly, masculine rationale to the point where you're a little irrational and you need that feminine balance? Is she able to bring that to the table? Or is she just a dumb ditzy and clueless and I don't know nothing? I'm just here. Well, I'm on my period right now, so I actually have nothing I can do for you. Wow. Just imagine being in that position.
Wow.
You got a fine sister with nothing else, and she on her uncleanness. Now what? Now you're just mad. The hell is this? Come on, brethren. Yeah, you understand?
The hell is this?
Finish it out.
Which is in the sight of God of great price.
In the sight of God, that's a great price. And to the ultimate point of what the brother was saying about, that's why you see black people so far behind, is because we're not in compliance with God's idea of marriage. Young women, it's not, you're young and you have the prime of your body parts and all of that. Do you get married, bear children, but marry a man that you know to keep the commandments of God. Brothers, hold yourself to a standard to where you actually care in seeking for a sister that has a meek and quiet spirit more so than what you're looking for on the outward appearance. That way, we will be able to establish solid foundations of men and women within their own race, being faithful to God, to each other, raising kids to be faithful to God in their community. That community turns into a city, that city turns into a country to a nation. You understand? Right. That's how we rebuild and reconstruct our race. The foundation is God-ordained marriage.
That's right.
And we gotta eliminate the materialism out of it. You understand? So, all praise to the Most High. That was a good little gem. All praises. Now we got to get back to the topic. Put the thumbnail on the screen for me.
Sheesh. The hypersexualization of black youth.
The hypersexualization of black youth. All right, let's look at some articles real quick. Put that on the screen for me.
The historical roots of the sexualization of black women and girls.
Right, so it's some history. Now this history is probably going to piss you off. All right, so I don't know how much we're going to read of it due to time. You know, maybe just when I get pissed enough, I'll just move on. But let's read.
Last week, we explored how the way that our society views black girls as more mature and less innocent than their white peers may allow predators such as R. Kelly to exploit them. Research has shown that black girls are viewed through a hypersexual lens and, as a result, are less likely to be believed when they report sexual assault. This begs the question, where exactly does this belief stem from and how can we combat it? Like many issues involving race in our country, the view of black women and girls as hypersexual has its roots in racism. Understanding how our culture came to believe that black women and girls were more sexually advanced can help us to eradicate this harmful way of thinking and protect all women and girls from sexual violence.
Now, I'm going to talk about it more as we go through the show, but this is something that really grinds my gears. Don't scroll back up just a little bit. And shout out to Academy Zion. He hit on Greek fraternities and sororities a lot. He attacks the traditions and so-called black culture a lot as it pertains to what our people, you know, embrace and earnestly desire to follow, right?
That's right.
We don't have no damn culture. So when it say understanding how our culture came to believe that black women and girls were more sexually advanced, it's because our culture was created by that enemy that we read about earlier that attacked us as soon as we were liberated as a nation and were on that journey to becoming and establishing ourselves as a nation. They attempted to root us out by attacking us from the hindmost parts, meaning the women and the children. You understand? Damn! They have manufactured what you perceive as black culture.
Right.
You understand? That is a product, that is a finished product of a white man's experiment. You understand? In a laboratory called the United States of America. That guy called Babylon. You understand? That's all it is. We don't have no real culture. We don't. No. Our culture is our heritage that God said we would be discontinued from when we would be taken to serve our enemies in a strange land. We don't have no damn culture until we come back to the Bible through repentance in the black Messiah, Christ Jesus.
That's right.
Otherwise, this is not no damn culture. We have been programmed and fed these things. All right? So, but read on.
Before the slave trade took hold in America, European travelers to Africa were both fascinated and appalled by the dress and practices of the Africans that they encountered there. The minimal amounts of clothing worn by Africans, appropriate in a hot climate, the fact that some tribes practice polygamy, and the seemingly suggestive tribal dances led these Europeans to believe that Africans were sexually lewd.
And we're going to hear more on that in a second. But give me that in Psalms 106:35. So, not to justify the white man, but there is some truth to that in terms of, the customs that we were observing on the continent of Africa prior to our enslavement. Psalms 106:35.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 35. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
So God says that his chosen people were mingled among the heathen. The heathen, in this context, is talking about African nations. You understand? Canaanites and such like. We were mingled among them and learned their works. When they served their gods and their idols and they did their rituals, a lot of those rituals involved profane acts, lewd acts like orgies, you understand, even abortion, right? They would pass their children through the fire, sacrifice their children. Why? Because you don't even know who child that is because you just did a damn shrine prostitution orgy. You just multiple men that went up inside you while you was worshiping and praising whatever the hell stone ugly ass painting on a rock that you was worshiping with sage and incense and whatever the hell. You understand all these weird little practices? We was into that. God said we learned their works. Go ahead.
And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them.
Which were what?
Which were a snare unto them.
So yes, we were doing a lot of sexually lewd acts in terms of us being mingled amongst those Hamitic tribes, right? And we was ensnared by those things. That's why we went into slavery. You understand? So go back to the article. Like I said, we're gonna get more into that in a second. Go ahead.
William Smith wrote that African women were hot constitutioned ladies who are continually contriving stratagems how to gain a lover. The initial stereotype of black women as sexually promiscuous arose from these writings. Later, these notions, among others, were used to justify enslaving Africans. During the era of slavery in the United States, the idea that black women had insatiable appetites for sex was used to justify the rape of enslaved women by their owners.
So, basically what it's saying is they were writing things before there was a media. They were writing things amongst each other that was basically propaganda to formulate the idea that black women wanted to be raped, thereby justifying the raping that they were doing. But give me that in Joel 3. This is what God said was going to happen to us prophetically. Joel 3, verse 3.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 3.
Come on.
And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
So cast lots meaning auctions, right? They auctioned our people off. And they did what?
And sold a girl for wine.
And did what?
And sold a girl for wine.
Right. So it said they sold a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine. So buck breaking, forced reproduction, breeding, you understand? That's what they did to us, right? And our women were basically objects of pleasure
You can't make
for the
this
white
stuff
man. It is what it is. They sold a girl for wine. Our women were being prostituted. You understand? Were commodities for things such as wine, right? Give me that real quick in Jeremiah 8. Jeremiah 8, I believe it's verse 10.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 10. Therefore will I give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit them.
So God said that he would give our wives unto others. Those others is the border of wickedness. These evil, wicked ass, nasty ass, evil, white, really red bastards. You understand? And this is how they would concoct their, strategy or whatever the case may be to take our wives from us. They would paint our women in a certain light as if they wanted the white cock. I'm sorry, I mean, that may have been a little bit too vulgar, but you know what I'm saying? That was the idea. That was the picture that was painted back then in slavery.
Right.
So go back to the article. For owners.
For owners, this practice had the added effect of producing additional enslaved people. Under the laws of the time, any child born to an enslaved person would also be enslaved. As a result, an owner would be able to increase his personal wealth through committing horrific crimes. Because enslaved people were considered property, enslaved women could not legally be raped under the law at the time. In contrast, enslaved men who engaged in relations with white women, whether consensually or forcibly, would be put to death. Other factors during the slavery era led to the view that black women and girls were highly sexual. First, enslaved women and girls were frequently pregnant. This was encouraged as a way to increase the number of enslaved people on a plantation and often rewarded.
Right, so we were being bred. They were breeding us. Go ahead.
When an enslaved woman or girl became pregnant, it was often used as proof that she had an insatiable sexual appetite.
But instead of it being told for what it was, as far as breeding, it's like, look at these little nigger whores. They always pregnant. They just love getting effed.
What?
Just love it. Go ahead.
At the same time, enslaved people were regularly put on auction blocks in naked or nearly naked states.
Which was by force, right? That's how they advertised this, male and female. Look at what he got. Look at what he working with. Look at what he got, what she working with. That will, make the bidding go higher, possibly. Right? It was a marketing tactic on the auction blocks. But Jedi mind trick, look, she naked. This how they get down. You understand? Because she got out, our women have curvaceous bodies or whatever the case may be, which is preserved for the husband, right? The white man has the power to strip that woman. Now, in slavery, it was by force.
Right.
The white man stripped the black woman by force, you understand, and sold her based on what she was able to display in her nakedness, being stripped by force. she was sold. Catch my drift? Read.
This display of black women stood in stark contrast to white women, who were clothed nearly head to toe. It reinforced the idea that white...
Right, because they was not put on auction blocks and advertised to be sold, to be bred.
Message.
Come on.
It reinforced the idea that white women were modest and pure, while black women were immodest and sexually lewd.
Meanwhile, them white women that would, you know, try to make it seem like they was modest and pure, they was having little secret side affairs. They was molesting and raping the damn male slaves.
Right.
The nigga slave while Master was out there traveling and going buying slaves out of state. She in there getting took down through them.
That's what, Cap, that's why they set up laws. If you, the article above said if enslaved, whether consensual or by force, you was put to death because brothers was getting it in consensually.
Damn.
While the cracker was out there on the plantation, his wife getting it in. That's what was going on.
Read.
What? Are you serious?
After the Civil War and the end of slavery, the sexual victimization of black women and girls did not end. The crime of rape was common. Yet, from the end of the Civil War until the 1960s, no Southern white males was convicted of rape or attempted rape of a black woman or girl.
Right, and then go back to the curses. Deuteronomy 28 verse 30, thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her. That's bear witness with the curses. Go ahead.
If assaulted by a black man, many black women and girls did not report the crime to authorities for fear that the assailant would be put to death. The portrayal of black women and girls as sexually promiscuous Jezebels continued throughout the 20th century and is prominent to this day. Memorabilia from the 1900s often show black women and girls as highly sexualized with large breasts and buttocks.
With what?
Large breasts and buttocks.
With large breasts and buttocks. Now, why do you think the most popular, prominent women amongst our people are women like Nicki Minaj?
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Right, Cardi B's.
Cardi B.
You can't make this.
You understand? Women who are known for and had plastic enhancements or injections.
What?
You understand? More often than not. But even if it's natural, they display this willingly, right? To influence the young women to where basically it spins on its own axis. We don't have to strip the black woman by force anymore to go out here and do this to make us money. She's gonna make us money, and it's like it's such a win-win. She's gonna make us money by doing the same thing she's always done, but the fact that she's willingly doing it, we no longer have to work so hard to propagate or create a narrative as if you know, she's this when we know we're really forcing her to do it. Look at her. She's proudly embracing, cherishing the, you know, that wholeness, that wretchedness.
Shame on you. Don't fall for
And
it.
she's basically telling all the rest of her fellow black women and girls to do the same thing. And because we give her a check, we give her the image as if she's successful, and they're impoverished and they're misfortunate or whatever the case, they're going to look at her like a beacon of hope, liberty, success. You understand? Freedom from oppression. She not only has to follow the idea that she has to be a certain type of modest and hide her figure. She can embrace her figure and show her figure, make money from her figure. You understand? And be successful. A successful hoe. You get rewarded for doing it was clean contrary to God.
Damn.
But it's all a trick bag to propagate what they wanted to in the first place. That you are not a daughter of Israel, which God said there should be no whores amongst the daughter of Israel.
Right.
No, you're a hoe, and be proud of that. Slut walk.
This
Hot
ain't
girl summer. Do you. You understand? You are a black woman, not no Israelites. No, it can't be no whores amongst them. No, no, no.
the hell is
No, no remembrance. Jedi. Listen, you've always had big titties, big booty, girl. Work it, girl. Do you get your money?
Your money maker.
You understand? For real.
You can't make this stuff up.
All right, go to the next article. I don't know. I'm talking too much. All right. So let's read this.
Sexualized and dangerous relationships. Listening to the voices of low-income African-American girls placed at risk for sexual exploitation. Youth from low-income urban backgrounds face significant challenges to maintaining a positive developmental trajectory. Dangerous neighborhoods and stressed relationships are common in these settings and threaten adaptation by weakening the natural assets that undergird resilience. African-American girls in these contexts face specific multiple risks, including gender stereotyping, violence, and sexual exploitation. The commercial sexual exploitation of children is a multi-billion-dollar industry victimizing over 1 million children around the globe. The typical victim in one city in the southeastern United States is an African-American girl, 12 to 14 years old. There has been little research investigating the characteristics of girls placed at risk for CSEC, and even less research on the personal perspectives of these girls.
Scroll down real quick to where it say results.
Results. The girls' language during the group sessions contain 4 themes. Difficulty forming trusting relationships.
So these are the spiritual effects. Real quick, get Psalm 64. Psalm 64 verse 6. So it's not just about, it's not surface level. It's never surface level with the white man. Whenever they create these social constructs, whatever the case, they understand how deep these things run. It's going to be just like when you see a commercial about a drug or, a pharmaceutical or whatever. They push and promote, which you're taking it for, the benefits. But at the very end of the commercial, there's an overwhelming amount of information that's conveyed within a span of 3 to 5 seconds. It's way more information in those 3 to 5 seconds than the rest of the 30 to 60 second commercial itself.
The hell is this?
And in those 3 to 5 seconds, it's the fine print. It's all the side effects that are actually detrimental to you, that you should more so be aware of than the benefits. You understand? That is what we're about to see, the side effects of that promiscuity that's pushed and propagated on our young women. Read what you got.
Psalm chapter 64 verse 6. They search out iniquities.
They search out iniquities. One iniquity is whoredom. You understand? Fornication. They search out ways to entrap us, ensnare us in this iniquity. Go ahead.
They accomplish a diligent search.
They accomplish a diligent search. Read.
Both the inward thoughts of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Right. They knew if we get them to be whores without us forcing them to, willingly walk into the death trap of the lifestyle of whoredom, it's going to have many mental and spiritual effects upon them. They will be cursed. All right, read the results.
The girls' language during the group sessions contain 4 themes. Difficulty forming trusting relationships.
Right, because one of the things about being sexualized is, especially as a young girl, you attract lust. And that could be from, your peers, the boys your age in school, your cousins, your brother, whatever, wicked nasty as hell, right?
Right.
But also even daddy, even pawpaw. You understand? So our young girls, as a result of this image that's been propagated, and them having a liberty, as we're going to show you in a second, that's given unto them by their brainwashed and deceived mothers, right? They put themselves out there and receive, in turn, a evil recompense in the form of oftentimes molestation. You understand? Or just exposure to the wrong things early on. So that the bonding that a daughter, a girl is supposed to foster between her and her father, for him to nurture her up and prepare her for that to be transferred to her husband, that's destroyed when she's still a little bitty little girl.
Message.
And you wonder why our women, not only is it hard for them to get married, but it's even harder for them to stay married. Right. This ain't right. The Israelites repenting is the only thing that's kind of curving those statistics as these years go on. But even within us, within the truth, it's still a struggle. You understand? For real. So, difficulty forming trusting relationships. What else?
Frequent peer aggression.
Frequent peer aggression. Y'all heard of Webby, right?
Yeah,
the rapper from Baton Rouge?
Yeah, we know.
Y'all remember, like, one of his first breakout hit songs? Girl, give me that.
Give me
Girl, give me that.
That's very aggressive.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Very aggressive.
Listen, he said, in the song, he said, some girl, I just might have to strong arm you. It's in the song.
He did.
Hey, yo.
The white man broke him off for that. What record label that was? It started with an A. Asylum. Asylum Records.
Asylum Records.
You understand? Broke him off to push that poison amongst our people. And he was just 18. You understand? That's what he said in the song. I just turned 18, girl. I'm legal. You can harass me.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Frequent peer aggression. What else?
Familiarity with adult prostitution.
And today, there's pornography more than anything. You understand? They see it in the streets and the environment. They you know, they be having relatives and stuff that live their lifestyle or whatever, but it's constant exposure to porn, OnlyFans, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
And sexuality as a commodity.
Right, the way America has it set up, it's like it comes with benefits being that way. You understand? You can get what you want with what's the saying? It's your pocketbook.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Use it. All right. So all right, let's go to the video real quick. So it's a lot more in them articles, but for the sake of time, we gonna get to the videos. Play that.
Across the diaspora, our people find freedom in dance. And despite the criticism it may get, these 3 myths about twerking proves that it's nothing new. It's a part of Black history. Twerking isn't new. The word twerk was first recorded on 1993's Do the Jubilee All, a New Orleans bounce song. Although often assumed to be a new phenomenon, twerking has ties to other West African dances. Ivory Coast's Mapuka is known as the dance of the behind and uses similar hip and buttocks movements. Comparable dances exist across the diaspora, like whining in Caribbean countries, Cole Maboya in Haiti, and Despelote in Cuba. Twerking isn't indecent. For centuries, colonial ideas have depicted Black women as naturally promiscuous and treated them as human zoos just for existing in their bodies. Black bodies aren't inherently indecent.
Pause.
Classic
Shout out to Captain Get a Lion. Don't listen to black women.
Right.
Message. Just go back like 2 seconds, but keep it paused. Now put it on the screen. So it says lie number 2. The first line is twerking isn't indecent. And then the bottom says black bodies aren't inherently indecent. Listen, God gave our sisters the curves and the, whatever, right? So, yeah, that's not indecent. It has to be covered. It's basically a reward for the man that commits to her in the form of marriage eventually, right?
That's right.
But when she is twerking, she's moving that body in a way that will attract sexual lust, sexual attention.
Hell no.
Which makes it indecent. The body itself is not indecent. That's not the argument, sister. But when you're moving that body, right? Because what is that movement suggesting? That you're able to perform that.
Right.
You understand?
Message.
While you're doing those moves, you have the ability to simultaneously pleasure a man's rod with that same movement. Right. That's why he gets excited when he sees it. What? That's what makes it indecent. You understand? The black woman talking about twerking isn't indecent. The white man just made the hell. No.
Don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it.
But that's just a side point. Just continue to.
Inherently indecent. Classic movements, like Josephine Baker's famous banana dance, were once called indecent. Consider this. For centuries, our bodies didn't belong to us. Dancing is a freedom of expression through movement. Twerking isn't ghetto. Mainstream culture steals from us and calls us ghetto. Ethnographer Elizabeth Perez says twerk violates the politics of respectability that demand virtue, industry, and decorum in exchange for full citizenship. The way we move our booties is a reclamation of our black bodies.
Hey, yep.
Feeling free enough in our bodies to move as we wish is beautiful and nothing to be ashamed of.
We all know schools aren't teaching black history correctly. That's why Push Black is so important.
So basically, shout out to the black woman. Black history, black culture, true black Pan-Africanism is the black woman embracing her body and moving her body. That's black culture. No. Get Isaiah 3:16.
Hell no.
So we read Psalms 106 earlier about us being mingled among the heathen and learning their works, right?
Right.
And we've done classes before about how one of the main commemoration rituals for the heathens to their idols was those sexual parties, those orgies where it's dancing and drinking and then smashing.
Right.
For real. Diddy parties. Diddy parties is really comedic parties. The hell is this? That's where it come from. Leviticus 18 starts with, hey, don't do the deeds of Egypt, nor the deeds of the Canaanites in which you're going into those lands to conquer. Those Hamitic nations were practicing religiously all of those different forms of fornication, incest, bestiality, threesomes, orgies, all of that. So, yes, Pan-Africanism in a sense of Hamitic people, yeah, they was doing all that. Our women were created to be holy.
That's right.
Set apart, modest, shamefaced. You don't just get to see those curves and all that just freely moving around and making you excited, and you can just get up on it and, you know what I'm saying, get you some filly, touchy, and probably end up all the way there by the end of the night. It ain't supposed to go like that, not with the Israelite woman.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
God said his woman supposed to be shamefaced, but with us being mingled among the heathen, back then our sisters developed a spirit on them, and God already told them what their judgment was going to be for that. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
Haughty, right? Haughty meaning, you know, proud, arrogant, sassy. You understand? Go ahead.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
Can't tell them nothing. Read.
And wanton eyes.
And what?
Wanton eyes.
Wanton eyes mean lustful eyes. So she moving her body like that and all of that because she has an objective of lust her damn self. God was calling our women out on that back then. Read.
Walking and mincing as they go.
Come on.
And making a tinkling with their feet.
Making a tinkling in their feet. Now, I ain't going to say that was them twerking back then, but I damn sure know that's what it is today.
Right.
But the word of God is alive. The word of God abides forever. So today, how they make a tinkling with their feet today, one of them ways is shaking their ass. So what did God say about that? What is his judgment for that? Read.
Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
So when you keep reading and go into detail, right, about the alopecia, you're going to make baldness on your head, discover the secret parts going into that stink down there. You understand? That's why it be, you know, very oceanic smelling, you know, pundy, real pundy down there. But anyway, but the twerking spirit, which the black woman has been deceived to embrace as culture, is real deal culture. That, remember, she mentioned the first song with the word twerking in it was birthed where? New Orleans, Louisiana. My birthplace. What? It's a spirit in that city, y'all. I'm telling you. And bounce music. Listen, what we seen in this video, I seen in real life when I was a little boy. Pretty much with my sisters and cousins. This ain't nothing new at all. Right. When it come to bounce music, our little girls, especially in that city, they start very, very early. That is embedded in the culture.
Our people are stupid as hell.
Clip, watch this. So that's bounce music, right?
What the hell?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sirach chapter 7, verse 24. This is why we teach the Bible. And everything we read is prophecy. But when we read prophecy, it becomes history. So everything we read, God gives us instructions on how to deal, whether if it's with our households, whether if it's our mothers and fathers. But this verse we're reading is considering the daughters. Read what you got.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 24. Hast thou daughters?
Do you have daughters? God is asking us a question, right? Read on.
Have a care of their body.
Have a what?
A care of their body.
When you care for their body, they ain't shaking it on TikTok. When you care for their body, they're not showing their ass on Instagram. When you care for their body, they're not showing their body. That's the point. That's why God had to write this here. Because the foolishness we see here is a direct indicator that the Bible is not being taught. But we have to teach this to our people because this is filthy. That's why it's pedophiles out here going free range for our daughters. Because we ain't teaching this. We have to have a care for their body because God said it.
Hit the bomb!
Hey, get that in Sirach 42. Sirach 42, verse 9.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, verse 9.
Yeah.
The father waketh for the daughter.
And that's what's missing
Exactly.
more often than not in a black community as far as what you see. It's either the father not there at all, he might be dead in jail or moved on to something else because he a whoremonger, or he's been desensitized to the idea, listen, that's my daughter, you know, this culture, the mama cool with it. You know, I don't really see nothing wrong with it. I mean, I ain't out here passing her around to a bunch of dudes. She just, I mean, it's Pan-African, ain't it? Looking at it. But a black man without the backbone ripped out of him by the white man, right? Psychologically, this is his mentality. Read it.
The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
Right, when nobody else knows, the father is paranoid about the state of his daughter.
Message. And the care for her taketh away sleep.
Right, can't sleep at night knowing that she could be sneaking somebody in and out, or sneaking out herself, or doing something she ain't supposed to be doing, or somebody preying on her. You understand? I'm 24/7 literally concerned about the safety of my daughter. Read.
When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Go ahead.
And being married, lest she should be hated.
Even when you marry your daughter off, you still paranoid. Like, man, I hope this thing ain't. You know what I'm saying? I hope she ain't being mistreated.
Right.
Read.
In her virginity.
In her what?
Virginity.
In her virginity, while your little precious daughter is still a virgin. Read.
Lest she should be defiled.
Lest what?
Lest she should be defiled.
Lest she should be defiled. A real father. It's a shame. It's an embarrassment. You not finna give her no birds and the bees talk, and this is how it works, and make sure you use a condom. A real father ain't doing that.
Right.
A real father, like, I be damned. You put that stain and that blot on my household and be defiled under my roof, under my guidance. You gonna keep that thing on lock until I approve of a husband for you. You understand?
Message.
But majority of the black daughters today, defiled. D-damn filed. Go ahead.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
And what?
And gotten with child in her father's house.
Guess what? That's how I came into the world. Damn. You understand? I was in my mama belly while she was under her daddy roof. Damn. Still in damn school. The hell is this? That's many of our stories. You understand? A teenage pregnancy has been a very rampant thing amongst our people for a very long time. Message. May have curved it. Of course, you got abortion clinics, but also going back to that desensitization in the mind. If it ain't the single mother in the by herself, or the single mother and the stepdaddy, or the single mother and a brainwashed daddy, they have gotten to the point where we already know this, you know, just to ensure that your future is still intact, to get this monthly shot. Take these pills, you know, on this regular basis or whatever, to ensure that you don't turn up pregnant. The white man give you devices. He creates inventions to enable you to go clean contrary against God. Right. For real. You won't get pregnant. You can just get your freak on. You understand? Because we have contraceptives. For real. But we need the fathers to be resurrected. Shout out to Bishop Yawasab. Double underside Bishop Yawasab. Right. He been hitting on this heavily for the past month or so. Right. Right? The father in the black community has to be resurrected, bro. Because this is gone. This is taken. You understand? There's no admonition of the fathers anymore. Message. It's just nothing but being enabled. All right? To the point. Now watch this. Give me number 13. We got to skip the hell is this? Y'all was going to be in for a treat too, but it is what it is. Give me the cheerleader video. Just going back to that culture, like I said, this ain't our culture. But this is what we earnestly practice here. Play that.
It's not territory, baby. The babies are our secret weapon. I'm sassy. If they make a mistake, it causes the competition. It's a lot of pressure on a little baby. This is it. I'm proud. Very proud. Baby doll don't mean baby, and that's the truth.
All right, babies, gather around.
Not only are the young girls scantily clothed, right? You know, you see butt cheek exposure and just all type of legs and print and, you know, too much skin, all the shape, all of that. But the moves, right? In the name of cheerleading, they popping they dang coochie. Hey, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, single digits.
What?
Popping it. You understand? In the name of, I mean, it's just sports. It's just, it's just what we do.
This is America.
We go to them homecoming parades and stuff like that to wake our people up and admonish our people. We find ourselves caught up to the point where we got to blast them because we see our young girls just literally parading up and down the street, popping their vagina in behind, which is completely, utterly inappropriate. But that is what the white man has been able to formulate in our minds as culture.
Amalek.
You understand? For real. Now give me number 14. So it don't stop with the I know we've been hitting mainly on the females, but as young men, we've been desensitized as well. From an early age, we talk about and discuss as if it's very, very cool, right? Being sexually active. This a little boy. Listen to his lyrics. Right, so this young dude, now mind you, that's a whole nother radio show in terms of the violence he's talking about and stuff like that. But he's also talking about, getting, from a female. Huh? You know what I'm saying? Getting what he get.
Are you serious?
And I remember when I was in the 5th grade, I went to College Station Elementary in Little Rock, and that's what we talked about every day, all day. In the 5th grade, 10 years old. We was all lying and talking about how we wasn't virgins and how we was doing this and doing that. And yes,
ain't no way,
this is why I would never dare, not in a million years, to send any of my kids to public school because what I was with me and my homeboys was doing to them little girls in the 5th grade, they daddies 1,000% unaware of what we were doing, what we was grabbing and touching and feeling at 10 years old. A crying shame.
Facts.
Now, I ain't even gonna say what happened on this field trip we went to out of state when we was in a hotel.
Oh my Jesus.
But I remember when I was a little bit older, I think I was probably like in high school, maybe like 9th grade or something. And we was dropping my I'm 8 years older than my little sister. So I think she was 3rd grade. So we dropping her off or whatever. So I'm overhearing some little 7, 8-year-old boys. Now, like I said, I remember I was 10. We was lying and all of that. But I'm overhearing that conversation. They younger than we was. And they discussing in detail like, man, I went over that whole house last night, man. She was acting all scared and all that. I had to do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. Just really, really shooting it, talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Popping cherries and all of that. At a ridiculously young age. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's with the boys and the girls. Play that next clip for me. Number 15.
I remember being in 6th grade where people were trading nudes and talking about sex and getting head, and I'm a popular guy, right? So when you're a popular guy, especially growing up how I grew up, there's already an expectation placed on you to already done all these things.
Yep.
So here I am, lying.
Yep. Saying you
right.
did it.
Saying I done did it. Breaks you a virgin? No. What? I ain't no virgin, dude. And now I got to prove that I'm not. Yeah. So now I'm going to out there and I got to go do it.
Get it. Yep.
Right. So before I know how to do it, before I know what it even means, before I know the power that it has over me, I'm out there trying to do it. So now I'm not looking for love. I'm looking for lust.
Yeah.
Now I'm not looking to connect. I'm looking to ejaculate.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking for a nut.
Yep.
And with that being the case, as I said in one of the episodes we had with the Way of the Walkers, your exposure diminishes your conviction. So yes, people talk about, and the Bible says, wait until you're married. The Bible says, treat your body like a temple, right? But when everybody in your community, everybody in your environment does it, when you can hear people having sex, and when you can see people having sex, and when everybody talks about it, it makes you get like FOMO.
Yeah.
If they're doing it, I need to do it.
Yep.
And if I'm not doing it, I'm lame. I'm a loser. You feel me?
Hey, read that in Wisdom of Solomon 4 verse 12.
You can't
Wisdom of Solomon 4 verse 12. Yeah, you're not alone. You see how his story and my story was very similar that I mentioned. But I got a lot of stories. But read that. Watch this.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and verse 12.
Come on.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence.
The wandering of concupiscence, which is strong sexual desire, go ahead,
doth undermine the simple mind.
That curiosity of sex undermines the simple mind. That simple mind is some people to a fault when they are older, are ignorant and unknowledgeable, and therefore deceived, or, just curiosity overtakes them. But the simple mind that can't help but be a simple mind is the mind of a child.
Right.
You understand? And the wandering of concupiscence for children, for many of us, really, really affected the course of our lives. You understand? I was 3 when I saw my first P or no. You understand? 3. In that same age, that's the same age, they left the door open and I saw it in real time. You understand? That same age, I had bunk beds. My grown cousin and her boyfriend broke my other bunk bed doing that with the same age.
The hell is this?
That same little age I experienced all that exposure that messed me up for life. Every day I'm fighting to this day. You understand? It's real. It's real, bro. You can't make this up. Y'all in the spirit. Y'all didn't play the little violin. All right, give me the next clip. Play that.
Listen, you not a different breed. You're a victim.
Right, because that's the thing. Like it's like a badge of, and like we said, a lot of people be lying, but that's the tale of the tape. In reality, for a lot of people, or at least what majority of people say, man, yeah, I'm about 13. And oftentimes, especially with men, with the boys, we be like, yeah, she was older. She was 16. I was 13.
It's a flex now.
No, you was a victim. What? You was taken advantage of. Man. You understand? For real. I got a story. A big girl cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like me in the room. You know what I'm saying? It be like that, bro. That's the tale of the tape a lot of times with our people.
Facts, man.
Watch this. Look at this guy. Play that clip.
I was sexually victimized when I was like 13 years old. And it led me to exhibiting a lot of violence. I felt like I had a fear of being vulnerable. All of my other bids, I would go in there and establish dominance. I was operating out of fear. It seemed tough, just working out every day, being a monster. It seemed tough. But Kevin, that's really fear. But this last bid that I went to, this last time I was released in 2018.
So the point that he making is he was molested at the age of, what he said, 13? So you see how this is it's a pattern in all of this.
Right.
But, he said as a result of him being a victim, it resulted in other things like violence, criminal activity, aggression, trying to come off a certain way, but it was really rooted in the insecurity and the responsibility of being a victim at such an early age. You understand? So this stuff runs deep, like the experiment in the article we read earlier. It is many effects that contribute to the destruction of our people. That's why you read Leviticus 19:29. Read that real quick, and then gonna queue up the next video. Have it ready, prepared, tab unmuted, all that. We can roll on out. Come on.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 29.
Read.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
So if the land falls to whoredom and become full of wickedness, that means whoredom is no longer the only wickedness. Right. It's the door to all manners of other. You understand? If you smash her, but she belong to him, and now you want to kill him, and then it's this and that and all type of violence gonna be in the mix. You understand? All type of stuff is gonna result from the beginning, the root, the damn seed being planted of whoredom. It's gonna sprout into all type of branches and sticks of other stuff, other wickedness. All right, now watch this. Play that video.
Only on 12 News, a dangerous new online addiction skyrocketing among teens.
It's not alcohol or drugs, it's porn. So are your teens at risk? Team 12's Kevin Kennedy joining us now with the shocking reality.
And let's warn you as we get into this, this story does have adult content all through it and may not be suitable for your kids.
Every day, millions of people are watching X-rated movies, and some of those people are teenagers.
They want to find something as a refuge, as a way to escape reality. And what better way to escape reality than watching sexual pornography?
Adolescent curiosity is normal, but for many kids, pornography turns from a casual interest to an addictive, obsessive force.
Similar to somebody who takes heroin.
But unlike heroin, porn is everywhere. Even when you're not looking for it, you find it, or it finds you. Many of these X-rated.coms are the most popular websites in the world. Pornhub gets more than 80 million visitors a day. That's more traffic than Pinterest, PayPal, and Tumblr. On average, a boy is 13, a girl 14 when they first see pornography.
They're learning from pornography about what sexual intimacy is.
Clint, as we'll call him, was 13 when he looked at porn for the first time. By 14, it was a full-blown obsession.
It was a 24/7 consumption of my life.
Overwhelmed by the lure and pull of pornography, Clint would spend hours cruising the internet for sexually charged images.
The pull is something that you cherish in a way.
By 16, Clint was addicted. The center of his world was pornography.
That was my relationship. That's where I got my comfort or my fix.
And no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop.
But sexual addiction is a craving.
By 17, Clint knew he had a problem, but like drugs and alcohol, breaking the cycle is simply sad but hard to do.
You don't know and you don't make that conscious next move. You just kind of do it.
Once teenagers have downloaded these images into their...
Now this is 7 years ago. This old. This has taken over just a friendly, what you thought you could let your kids get on and make a profile. Like the Twitter app has become essentially a porn site.
Right.
You understand? So it's entirely more accessible and common and just so easy to slip up into. And some people is wired differently than others, and are, you know, all praise to the Most High. Some people are just disgusted they can't get into that. But a lot of people, once they get into it, they fall into a rabbit hole and become addicted to it. That's the story of a lot of teens. That's their refuge. That's their escape. Instead of coke, instead of blacks, instead of meth, instead of, what's some other stuff teens be doing? Whip it, which we was going to go over. Whip it. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Whip it. Instead of whip, it's porn. Sheesh. Now give me that article real quick. Real quick. Just read the introduction.
Rates of sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, are climbing among young people even as adolescent pregnancy rates fall.
You know why adolescent pregnancy rates falling? Contraceptives, abortion clinics. Don't get it twisted. Read.
To better understand this counterintuitive trend, ACT for Youth wanted to know what young people themselves have to say about it. We conducted an extensive review of recent survey, interview, and focus group literature on the question of norms, attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs that impact young people's risk of STIs. Our full report, Sanchez, and a forthcoming research, facts, and finding brief centering young men who have sex with men are published separately. In this article, I focus on how heterosexual Black American youth who are disproportionately affected by STIs.
Who are what?
Disproportionately affected by STIs.
Sexually transmitted infections.
Describe the factors that influence their sexual health. Note.
All right. So now give me the last clip for the sake of time. So the point is, African American youth are disproportionately affected by sexually transmitted infections. Now we know that's the curses they cleave to us because we are God's chosen people and he shows unto us his judgments, right? But what does this have to do? Because we went into porn, right? Watch this. Play that.
Quote of the day. I don't make up the quotes. This is how I got my first STD. I was 12 years old. I had an addiction. I used to watch too much, you know. I even participated in this thing called Finish Every Day December, where whatever day it is in that month, that's how many times you have to finish. I went up to day 20. I was really addicted. My friends went on my laptop and saw a bunch of websites that I was really embarrassed about. I'm sorry, this really, I had an addiction. So what they did was like, hey man, you need to get out there, bro. Like, fuck it, they're older than me, right? They're about 22. I'm 12 years old. So they're like, we're gonna sneak you into the strip club. I bought mad fake money off of Amazon, and I was just throwing fake money. So they told a stripper to come to me and take me to the back, having the time of my life, like this, with a black queen like this, going crazy. I already finished in my pants, but she didn't know. My mans gave her 1,000 to let me your name. She's like, my name Honeysuckle, because I'll suck the shit out your dick. My jaw dropped. She started off with the mouth. I finished, and then I'm like, I could go again. Because, you know, I'm a pro already. I could do this about 20 times a day. So I stick it in, you know, we finish. 3 days later, when I pee, it hurts. It just feels like it burns. Like, maybe I put soap in there a week. And it just feels, every time, it just feels like someone poured hot sauce in my hole. And, like, I was crying. My mom had to come and rub it with ice, like this. Rub it with ice. She had to rub it with ice. And it was very embarrassing. I go to the doctors. They told me I had chlamydia.
Damn! Yeah, that's the number one amongst teens, chlamydia, as far as what's reported. Because, you know, so many of them don't get tested. They just like, they make up their own little remedies, like when you burn it, So he had to clap. You got the clap, you got gonorrhea. I might be mixing them up here. Clap, crabs, all that stuff is all STIs, STDs. Right. But what we're showing you is, because our minds, hypersexualization, the excessive access to porn and stuff like that, eventually is going to lead to, you know, you taking them risks. Right. And then you take them risks and you get these dire consequences, and even these are becoming normal. Like, you got the NBA YoungBoy, the famous face of all YNs, and he's just declaring, I got herpes. It is what it is. Like, that's something that you can never get rid of, and he's just living with it and still got all the girls wanting him. So I'm telling you, bro, it's all an agenda. It's all a part of the plan.
Don't fall for it.
To contribute to the destruction of God's chosen people. This is why we must repent. Marriage is honorable in the eyes of the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Stop allowing our daughters to be hypersexualized. Right. Stop allowing your kids to have all this exposure to all this wickedness and this evil. It is what it is. You can teach your kid and instill in them principles, morals, and discipline them whenever they do something out of line. But as a parent, like we read in Sirach 42, the father waking for the daughter, care for their body. At the end of the day, you got to take responsibility in being very strict on your monitoring of what they do on these devices. Do not leave your kids to these devices. I don't give a damn. All right?
That's right.
Because they could just so easily be exposed that can alter the course of their life.
Right.
This is serious business, bro. This whoredom fornication spirit, we see it tearing it up inside the body. Because it's real. You understand? And it was constructed, concocted by the enemy. We have to see that, realize that, and counteract that with the application of the word of God. All right? But we out of time, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in to Bible Book of Our Fathers with the mighty Bishop Yawasop. Double honors to all of our leaders, Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasop, Bishop Canal.
That's right.
Shout out to the captains. All praise to the Most High God. Make sure y'all donate to the Booster Club. Tune in and let's talk truth next week on IUIC Arkansas YouTube. All right?
That's right.
Most High in Christ bless. Shalom.